Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm Jada Bailey, the Mindful Mage, and we are smack dab in the middle of a new moon. You know what the best thing to do during a new moon is? I'll give you a second to think about it.
3 hours later.
Yes, exactly. You're right. It's manifest. In today's video, I am going to go over all the things you'll need to know to build yourself a foolproof manifestation spell. So let's start at the beginning with the basics. What even is a spell? I mean, it sounds like something from fairy tales. It sounds like it's absolutely ludicrous. Magic and fantasy, and it has no place in real everyday life, right? No, wrong. Dead wrong. Absolutely wrong. In all actuality, casting a spell is really quite simple. All you're doing is intentionally directing your energy to achieve a desired outcome. And you can draw that energy from anywhere. You can draw it from your mind, you can draw it surely from your willpower, you can draw it from ingredients or objects or the elements. And you can also draw it through practices and through rituals. When is the best time to cast a spell? Well, it depends on your desired outcome for that spell and your intention behind the spell. Now, in this one, we are going to be trying to manifest, and the best time to do that is during a new moon and a waxing moon. As a new moon represents manifestation and new beginnings, a waxing moon represents attraction, motivation, success, and intentions. And the best days of the week to perform your spell during a new moon or a waxing crescent moon would be Tuesdays and Thursdays, as Tuesdays represent ambition, motivation, and strength, and Thursdays represent luck, growth, fulfillment, and success. Now, when you're building your own spell, the world is your oyster. You can go out and buy a bunch of fancy ingredients and tools, but you definitely don't have to. You can work with whatever you have around the house using simple correspondence of colors, pretty much, and days of the week and moon phases. Which obviously, or maybe not so obvious, represents abundance, luck, prosperity, growth, and gold, which represents success, wealth, attraction. And this one is a shock to most people, but orange represents inspiration, good luck, positivity, and success. If you want to give your spell an added little razzle dazzle, you can go through your crystal collection and grab some of those as well. And if you don't have a crystal collection, that's totally fine. You are already more than equipped with what you have on hand, okay? But if you do have some crystals, these are the ones that you'll want to incorporate in your spell. Aquamarine, malachite, honey citrite, green quartz, clear quartz, citrine, ruby, tiger's eye, opal, peridot or peridot, depending on how you prefer to pronounce it, and of course pyrite, fool's gold. I don't think it's actually called fool's gold, or it might be, but it definitely looks like gold. Of course, this is supposed to be a very beginner-friendly, fairly easy manifestation spell, and as you get further along in your practice, you can incorporate other sigils or objects, symbols, ingredients, herbs, flowers, you name it. Your craft is your own, so you can incorporate anything that represents manifestation in general or specifically to you. And the last thing you'll need is a good incantation. Now, I've written one of my own that I'm going to read off in a moment here for you guys to use completely as it is, or you can remove things, add things as you like, whatever works for you. But before I do that, again, if you've been on my channel for a while, I am a Christian witch, or at the very least, the basis of my faith was rooted in Christianity. That has changed quite a bit over the last year, but we're not going to get into that right now. So if you are religious, you can incorporate your own faith, your own deities in your incantation. You can call to them or invoke them. If you are not religious, you don't have to incorporate a deity at all. That's fine as well. You can call upon the elements, or surely on your higher self or your ancestors. Again, it's whatever works for you. So just to recap and give you a little example of how I would go about doing this, if I were to cast a manifestation spell, I would pick a day of the week, Tuesday or Thursday, and I would do it at any point in time from the new moon to the full moon. I'd find a space in my home that I find peaceful, that's clean, it's not too much going on, not too distracting, a place that feels kind of sacred to me. And I'd grab a candle, some crystals, and anything else that I could find to incorporate that went along with the intentions, my intentions for the spell. So in this case, I would grab a green candle, orange or gold candle, and likewise the same with crystals. I'd grab green, orange, again aquamarine, malachite, citrine, pyrite, gold crystals. I would place those around my candle. Typically, I might use a symbol or a pattern sort of like this one. Or I might use a pentacle or a pentagram, just again, whatever I'm really feeling, and place those crystals in the corners of that pentagram and a candle right in the center. You can do what calls to you, whatever feels right. I'd grab some sage or Palo Santo or even incense, and I would cleanse the items that I'm going to be using in my spell. I would cleanse the space around me. And if you want to cast the circle, I did make a video about that a while back. You absolutely can. It's always recommended just to block out any energies that you don't want to attract. Because when you are spell casting, you're going to attract a lot of energy, and it's just a really good way to be precautious. You only want to bring toward you what you are actively trying to attract, and a whole host of other things will be coming in your direction as well. So just to make sure they can't interfere with what you're doing, I would say it's always good practice to cast a circle. And once you have all of your items and everything's cleansed and your circle is cast, I would like to sit and kind of meditate, really focus on my intentions, my purpose, kind of clear my mind and make sure my will is not clouded at all. And if I were working with any deities, this is when I would present any offerings or thanks to those deities that I decided to work with for this particular spell. And if not, I would just move right on. Now, if you are working with the elements in your spell, it's nice to have things that are representative of those elements. Like for air, you could easily do breath, water. You could have a little vial, something like this, or a chalice of water, incense for fire, or a candle for fire, and crystals or a bit of dirt from your garden or herbs for earth. Now finally, once I have cleansed my space, gathered all my items, cleansed my items, cast the circle, meditated, provided or offered up any offerings for my deities, now I'm going to recite my incantation. Here she is, my incantation. I'm gonna drop this in the description below as well, so you guys, again, can use it if you want to, adjust it however you please or not at all. This is one I wrote a while ago and use regularly when I am manifesting. I'll make a few slight adjustments depending on my desired goal. Ask and it shall be given. Claim it and it shall be yours. I'll say that 3 times. Ask and it shall be given. Claim it and it shall be yours. Ancient moon, I call to thee. Imbue me with thine energy. By the sacred power of 3. By the blessed Trinity. You know who the sacred power of 3 or the blessed Trinity is if you are Christian. This could also be the maiden mother crone Trinity. There are several Trinities throughout various religions. So, and you could also just be referring to the law of 3. So however you want to apply it, you can do so. Nothing in this world is single. All things by a law divine. In one spirit meet and mingle. Bind now yours with mine. You can interpret that line how you like, but how I wrote it, essentially I'm trying to become one or form a connection, feel a connection with the deity or the force that I'm invoking. Bind now yours with mine. Personally, I believe we all have a little bit of divinity within us, and I like to think that I'm calling upon that and using that to strengthen the connection to the deity that I'm calling on. I am the author of my story. I am in control of my reality. I attract what I wish to obtain. I manifest what I wish to claim. Because when you are manifesting, you want to use definitive terms. Like, it's not I wish or I hope or I'd like. No, say it as if you already have it. Talk about it as if it's already a thing, it's already in place, not something you desire to come to you. You already have it, it's there, it's yours, so claim it as such. I call to earth to bind my spell, air to speed its travel well, bright as fire shall it glow, deepest tide of ocean's flow. This tidbit is invoking the elements. So if you want to completely leave out the parts that are invoking a deity, you can do so and work with the elements only. If it harm none, by the 3 who are one, if it be thy will be done. And that's how I end the incantation. Again, when I wrote this, my faith was a lot more deeply rooted in Christianity, and I do still have some of those ties. So you can see a kind of theme going throughout there. And if you are a Christian witch, I would highly recommend leaving these parts in there. I've been quite successful with this. So yeah, I hope that helps. And then you could end it as a prayer, like amen, or with so mote it be, or something to kind of just finalize it. At which point you could sit with your spell, you could sit and meditate a little bit more. I would then thank my deity and or the elements as I release them one by one, and then open your circle back up and you're done. I really hope you guys found this video helpful. Please keep sending me suggestions of the type of content that you would like to see. I've compiled a whole little list in my journal here, so I will be uploading those videos soon. Yeah, I appreciate and love you all. Thank you so much for watching, and I will be seeing you guys next week or the week after. Bye.